Hello viewers, welcome back to our channel. Now we are looking at percentage setup. In other words, we are looking at the increment. We want to make sure that we set up this increment right and we have something to do. So what we are going to do here, we are going to install one last section in this financial model, and we are going to look at the percentage change to the income statement. In other words, we are looking at the changes in the income statement, whether it's going to be an increase or it's going to be a decrease, but it's going to be a percentage change. But in other words, we want to look at when the percentage is increasing. That's what we are basically going to look at. So what we are going to do here is we are going to head up to this section of the income statement, the section for income statement. That's it. And what we are going to do in this space, we are going to make sure that we grab these line items for the whole income statement. In other words, we are going to grab the entire income statement, because the reason we are taking it is we want to leverage on those formats that we are already having in place. So what we are going to do is we are going to do a copy. We are going to copy the whole income statement. We need everything from this point to there, to that point. So we're going to do a copy. It's Control C. We copy everything from there, and we are now going to paste those values. You can use page down to move down, or use the down arrow. We are going to paste, let's paste them to this row 60, and specifically we are going to paste it in B60. So let's do a paste, Control V. We've pasted all this information that we have here. So that's our last section that we wanted to have there. So we've gotten the whole entire income statement, and now we want also to insert a copy of different rows. And usually with the use of the mouse, we could just click on any given row that we want. If maybe you want to add in a section here for, say, row 61 here, maybe this is where we want to insert. That's where we want to insert another section. So if you want to do that from that point, then we have to right click in that here, because if you right click here, you'll have that option to insert from this point. Then you can be able to insert things that you want to do from that point. So you can click the insert and be able to see that we've put in that. You can undo that, Control Z to undo that. But now when you're using the keyboard, of course, when you're using the keyboard, you find that things are going to be a little bit different. So what we are going to be, we are going to this cell right here, cell, because we want to insert in this cell like the way we've done. But this time around, we are going to use the keyboard. So what do? We come and put our cursor in this cell, B61, cell B61. And what we are going to do when we are in that cell for B61, because we want to insert it here, we can come to this B62. We want the cell to be inserted in this point. So what we are going to do, we have to move to B62 in that position where there is revenue. And what we are going to do, we go to Alt, we go to I for data. Let's first see the escape key, Alt. We go to we go to N for insert. Sorry, this N is for charts, putting charts there. So it is Alt. So this I we did not put it here because the I is for, it has options that we did not put it here. But if it was there, you just go to Alt I R and you'll find it has inserted the value that we want. The shortcut is Control. Let's first go for undo. It is Alt I R. It has inserted the right column using the right arrow for inserting the row. And then if you want to repeat that, you can just tap the F4 key to insert another row, or you can just use Alt I R. It has inserted some more 2 rows. It has inserted row 62 and row 63. These 2, that one and that one. Those are the ones we've inserted. So what we are going to do now is we want to go down here to this cell B62. B62 right here. That's the cell B62. So what we are going to do, we are now going to copy the label for revenue here, this label here. Control Z, we copy that, and we are going to put it in this area here, B62. We do a paste, Control V, to paste that revenue there. Because now what we want to set up the percentage issue that we are looking at. And we just want to increase our, what we are going to do, we want to modify the revenue. Because we want to modify it and we have a percentage increase, we have an increase. And then what we are going to do, we are going to put in a value in here, in this cell D62. We are going to put in a value 10%. We want a value for 10%. Now, what we can do is we can pop into this cell F52. F52, because we want to use these formats. Remember that 10% I've just put it there. We can come and paste, copy this. We just want to, we do a copy, but this time around we just want to use those formats that we have there. Those formats that we have in that cell F52. So what we are going to do, we've copied those values, and now we are going to go to cell D62, where we inserted the other figures. Let's go to this cell D62. We go to D. We are now in that cell D62. That's where we inserted that 10%. So we want to put in those formats. So what we are going to do, we are going to do a paste. So if we paste, Control V, now we can come here. Sorry for this. What we have to do here in this cell, let's just paste, Control V. We are copying this, Control, then we come and paste it there, Control V. So we now need to type in 10%. And you're seeing that we've gotten those values. Because what we were interested in, they are those formats that we needed. So let's now try to type this, to hit the scroll key, to just move, to be able to move a little bit to be able to have this into focus like that. We hit the scroll key again. Now we've gotten out of it. So we've now got our values. We've got everything that we need. Now what we are going to do is we have to make sure that this is center lined. Let's just align that cell to, we have this number aligned. So we go to Alt H for home because we know alignment is within that cell. So we go to SC for alignment, that is center alignment. So that's center aligned now. We also want that D62 to be a hard code number. In other words, we want that to be an input. So we have to change the color to blue. So we go to Alt H for home and FC for font color. And now we can pick from this recent one. Can select that blue color. So we've gotten that in control. Now we have our blue color right there. So what we want also to draw some attention to this cell D62. We want to make sure that at least we have some unique things that are going to differentiate it from other cells. So let's try to put there a little nice border just to have it covered within the border because it's an input. So let's try to have some control. We get some attention from the audience. So let's go to Alt H for home. Then we are going to B for borders and M for more borders. Now we are going to click on this little dotted border right here. This one. Let's go with this one, the first one. And now it's going to be on the entire cell. And now we can come here and hit enter. When you get out of that cell, you find that we've gotten that border for cell D6 in place. Now up here in cell B60, we still have income statement as our labeling there. So we want also to change that to percentage change. So we hit the F2 key to get into that cell. You can also double click maybe to highlight. Let's delete that and put percentage. Let's just put percent change and we hit enter. So we've now changed that. So what we can also do, since these are all going to be formulas here, whatever we are having here is supposed to be formulas, except this. We've changed that one is going to be an input. So whatever we are going to have from that point is supposed to be formulas. So what are we going to do? So what we are going to do is we are going to make sure that at least some of those values that are within the blue font are going to be changed to black. So we can select this entire range from F64 here. We can highlight that to this point here, F60, shift down arrow, the whole of this 76. Can highlight all of those values. But remember, we set these values in the bracket using the conditional formatting. So we may try to change and they don't change. But let me show you what I wanted you to get. Let's also highlight these values. We are going to remove all of them. So if we try to change this to Alt, H for home, then FC for font color, and now we can pick this black here. You will see that not all values are going to be changed. These values that are within the brackets, they will not change. The reason as why they are not going to change is because of how we set that in the beginning. We set them using the conditional formatting. Sorry, the custom. So we have to highlight. So let's try to highlight this. Shift this side, hit the control, go to that side, hit the control, highlight that. We highlight also that. So we are going to change them at once. Control 1 to go to format cells. Now this time we are on number formats. This one, instead we can just change this. We can just delete that same item, or we can just come here and change them we can change them to black from here. Can just come here and type here black, but it will be when we put in the formulas and we try to automatically generate the rest, we may not get answers. So the best thing is to come here and we delete those. So hit OK, and when you come here, you find that those negatives, they have come back. So they have come back because they are going to change as we substitute in the form, we put in the formulas. So we've now changed those to black. So now what we want to do, we want to make sure that we are going to make sure that at least those values are adjusted for the increment. But now you are seeing the whole of these numbers, they look to be a little bit funny. These numbers, some of them they have gotten points which we didn't put. So what we are going to do, we are going to set all those numbers to 0. That's what we are going to do, because we are going to use formulas. At the end of the day, we were just copying these to help us get the nice formattings that we have there. So what we are going to do is we are going to set these numbers to 0. So let's go down into this revenue and this cost of goods, and we try to set them to 0. So all these numbers are going to be set to 0. Then we go to SG&A, also we set it to 0. We go to that, we set it also to 0, even that. Can also go to taxes and we also set that to 0. The only thing that we need from that point is we only need the formattings only. We don't need those values. So we don't care how they look, but we only find ourselves interested in the formattings that are within those different cells. So what we are going to do, we have also to set these other values also to 0. So since we have all these values from F64 to F76, they are all set to 0, we can now highlight across using the shift key. So we can, maybe we first highlight this one with the down arrow, and now we can use Control Shift right arrow just to highlight everything there. And what we want to do, a Control R, which is a fill right. We just need all those numbers to be 0. We only needed these formattings. They are the ones that we are going to use to change some of the things that you are seeing. So let's now put in formulas. So we've seen that we've actually set all these line items to 0. But setting those line items to 0, it doesn't mean that we have also cleared away our formatting. So we still have these formats, the good formats that we put in place already. So we can also see that if you go to this, you'll find that the sum function is still there. You see, the sum function is still there. We are also seeing that the EBITDA, their functions are still there. When you go to EBIT, the functions are also still there. So we have everything still in place. So we have all those nice formats that we created. So now everything has been copied right to the next level. So here we can see that everything is now set up. Remember, what we are interested in is setting up the percentage change. Of course, we have set up these values here. We have put in the row, we are putting the different sections that we wanted. So what we are going to look at in the next video, we are going to see how we can apply that 10% change all the way through that income statement. That's what we are going to do in the next video. So in the next video, we are going to look at the percentage changes. So let's see you in the next video as we are doing the computations for these values that we've not filled.